Alright, now on to the game.My O'Shea. Now, which save file was it? Alright. And then I'm going to do the Leo one next because I can't remember what happened for Leo. I was probably drunk. But there's an important campaign for it. Alright, this should be this one. Oh, yeah. Alright. Alright. No. Stop this. That's Leo. Aaron, make sure to put that in the video then. I'm a fucking idiot. Alright, here we are. Alright, now, I have to pause this, and I have to do this manually, and it's annoying. But yeah, this is going to be the intro to, our Week 9 battle. Now, we play Matt O'Shea, Clickbait City King. Important to note what this title is called. It was done about a month ago, before Matt decided to drop Bronzo. And it is 10 times funnier now that I think about it. But just to put it in some general perspective for you guys, I want to give a massive thank you as always to Aaron2420. What is up with these video dimensions, Aaron? Fix that for editing my video. He is a wholesome lad. Also as well, I want to give a massive thank you to Oddsar, I think it was, who recorded the game, because Aaron was too busy watching anime. Tisk. Yeah. I also want to thank myself for building the team, but also the very wholesome Pedonison for he was being a very wholesome lad, saving everyone's ass Saturday morning. You know, he's driving people to the airport, and he's just being a wholesome lad. He's getting me my team, and then he's dealing with the fucking capitalist pigs on a Saturday. Oh, how does Pedonison do it? It's too wholesome, and we play Matt O'Shea, and you know what? Matt O'Shea is a very wholesome man. He's dated the same woman for 5 years. Hasn't held hands with her, I've been told. Very wholesome, Matt. But yeah, he's a bit of a clickbaiter, and he can't buy his own microphone because he's 30 years old, lives in his parents' basement, and they've told him to keep it down while they're they're rekindling their love life that was lost 20 years ago. Probably 30 years ago. When they had Matt, they're like, oh, don't want to run the risk anymore, really, do we? So, we're going to play Matt this week, and I decided to lead with my Mimikyu because, like, Matt's pretty brained. He'll lead with his Stealth Rock Primal Ground, and I can just go, how do I play Pokemon? Alright, is this going to load? Oh, don't put the weird bars on the... Aaron, fix it. I don't like it, Aaron. Did you make me watch anime again, Aaron? This is what anime does to your brain. Alright, so it leads with San Francisco. San Francisco! Oh, East Virginia. I lead with Chris Carney's the GOAT. I was like, Chris Carney's a good little Mimikyu. And I thought my game froze when the primal reversion went off. It's like, why is this? It was like 30 seconds of time. And now this is like ruining my computer. Did you think about this, Matt O'Shea, when driving this? Oh, Aaron, make sure the pretty Pokeballs. Make sure you use Primal Ground as well in the Pokeballs. Don't use the thing. Oh, Aaron, can you like put a curse? Yeah, make him like grey because he's been cursed. Infestation, make him green for infestation. Yeah, so I click infestation and I'm like, let's see what he goes for. He's been inflicted by and Matt goes for Fire Punch. And I'm like, fucking pussy, click P-Blades, you bitch. And I was like, alright, let's click sub this next turn. I was like, let's genuinely make Matt's life a living hell. Because I was like, if I can click sub, he's now in range of Taunty. And do you know what he does here? He goes for rest. And I'm like, what a fucking pussy. You know, Matt, we're not even 30 seconds in this video. You need a fucking break? How lazy are you? Man, I get it. You know, 30 years old, still living at home. But, you know, it's what it is. He's got a bunch of little streaks. He's going, you know, he's been riding to OP Jellison, but he's not returning his calls. It's a bit weird. Yeah, make him grey now. Make the Primal on grey, because I've just gone for a curse. See? It's some voodoo shit. And I was like, I wonder what he gets here. And I was like, pray it's not a Fire Punch, because I'd like to have a substitute up. He gets a Sleep Talk, and I'm like, okay, so he's got to have P-Blades. And then I'm like, so he's Fire Ground coverage, which generally means that I could have a decent shot of doing anything. And then I was like, ooh. Like, he's going to be roughly taking about 37.5% each turn, but I can't do any additional damage to him. Dun dun dun, West Virginia. And I thought, you know what, I just want to rinse and repeat this cycle until he's taken about, 37.5% of health. Because I think in my eyes, at least, just by doing that, he's always in the Taunty guaranteed Z-move range. And that was like the smart thing. Big brain, Birdman. Look at this bullshit like. He gets Fire Punch every time. It turns out later on in the game that that was his only offensive move. And I was like, Matt O'Shea, hey, it's a wonderful kind of day. And I got to this stage, I was like, oh, imagine if I set up the curse. Imagine if I went for curse on the turn he clicked rest. Because he'd nearly be dead. Like, you've seen how close he is to dying. He would have died. So I decided that this next time I'm going to click protect, and he keeps getting so many fire punches. It's really annoying, and I'm like, this Mimikyu's pretty much served its purpose. It's just been annoying for Matt. You know, it hasn't done anything. It's just been annoying. Sort of like me at work. Hasn't done anything. Just annoyed everyone. Freed from infestation. Like, he's going to switch. I'm going to switch out into Torn here because if he sleep talk whiffs. I put it in the odds of like 66% chance that I was going to always come out of that. He goes out of San Francisco, and I'm like, ooh, the sun is gone today. So I just click U-turn here because I'm like, he should switch out, and he doesn't. So I'm like, alright, I'll just go into Mimikyu. Or do I click Roselia? Probably one of the two. So yeah, we go into Bill here. And Bill pre-1992, and he goes for a rock slide, so I'm like, okay, that's good to know. And I'm like, do I just want to set up a spike? Like, I could theoretically set up a toxic, but if he goes Scolipede, that would be annoying. I just want to get up my spikes, because I think that that's going to help me more than anything. Matt clicks knockoff here, and I'm like, oh, Matt. And I'm like, if he's going to knockoff spam, I just may as well go into my Tornadus. So I'm like, let's go into Tornadus. Barb. And because he isn't Flame Orb, I know I can live with any one hit. Goes to EQ, and I'm like, Bird made a read. Didn't really. Now I just click knockoff because I want to make sure that I get rid of its Cobra Berry. It seems like a weird thing to knock off, but I was like, that's probably its best item for this. It's Assault Vest. So I'm like, okay, it's fucking passive as shit. I'm like, I'm going to U-turn this turn. I was like, I think I can live a Bullet Punch. I can't remember if Hariyama gets Bullet Punch or not, but I just remember Aaron Zhang used it at Worlds. He used like fake out, I went, clap! I went U-turn, I'll just sack off Mimikyu here. It's done its job. Chris Khan, you are the GOAT, but just remember, you know, it's just going to be fun. So, goes for Rock Slide off, dang. I'm like, oh no, I lost my Mimikyu. And I came down to this, and I was thinking about this play for about a good 20 seconds. And I said to myself, am I a bitch? Because I could miss a Hurricane here, but I said to myself, I reckon you could live at least one. So it's like, let's go for the raw Hurricane. I was like, Luke Catali would do that. He's like, oh, save the Zemu float. So that's one, well, you know, 1-1 apiece. I'm like, ooh. You know what we like to see. Now he goes into Celine. And I'm pretty sure that this is the gay little Umbreon thing. Yeah, it is the gay little Umbreon thing. So I'm like, alright, let's go out into our... Let's U-turn this turn. Just to get a little bit of chip damage off. Now this will get really stally. And the reason is I didn't prep for Umbreon. So I got into Xiphon, or I'm like, let's just get up rocks. He doesn't have any defoggers. A Foul Play's going to do jack shit to me. And I'm like, I can also knock off this turn. Then I went, oh, I don't have knockoff. So I just get my rocks up. I was like, you know what? Let's see what this Umbreon's about. Also, I wanted to... He goes for the taunt here, and I'm like, that's funny. You're making me laugh. Well. So I switch out here because I'm like, I may as well just go out into my Birdman because I'm like, I'm just going to U-turn cycle. You know, Taunt's looking good. Goes for a Wish. I'm like, okay. Now if he goes into the fucking stupid Groudon here, I just want to U-turn out. I just want to knock off here because if he goes into Groudon and come in the next turn after, and pretty much just thrown it. He goes for Toxic. I'm like, I should have kept Taunt. Now this is an important thing to consider. I dropped Taunt last minute for Icy Wind. And I think that the change was appropriate. But look at this. This is Taunt. This is Burb. This is, you know, I'm the Burb man. Stonk. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to U-turn here. I'm just going to go into my Roselia. Because I want to get to a stage in this game where, theoretically, it's going to be fun. So Bill pre-1992 comes in because I'm like, alright, let's go try to get Toxic off on it. It's a foul play. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. Let's try to go for a Synthesis this turn. Because he... oh no, sorry, I don't go for Synthesis. Let's go back and Taunt. Oh, I should have been put my note of that. Goes for Taunt. I'm like, okay, this is fine. I'm like, let's go for a U-turn again. Because the way that I view this in my head is that I thought that he was faster than me. Because I'm pretty sure there was this exchange where I was like, I'm pretty surely faster than a fucking Roselia. So I get another U-turn off. I'm like, alright, this is looking good. I'm like, this is like nearly put it in the Z Hurricane range. So build pre-1992. And I think he's faster than me. So I'm like, I'm going to click Synthesis this turn. Sorry, Sludge Bomb. And he actually, ironically, is slower than me. And I'm like, I should have clicked Toxic. That would have actually really helped. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be annoying. This is going to be a fun game. So I was like, I'm gonna go in for Arceus this turn and click sub. I was like, Taunt doesn't go through sub. So I click sub here, and he goes for Foul Play. I'm a very, very bulky Arceus. Ironically, I click Iron Defense this next turn, so the next Foul Play wouldn't break my sub. But he does click Taunt if I recollect correctly. And that's a bit of a misplay, not gonna lie. I probably should have went for the Calm Mind to begin with, just so I could get to +1. I think at this stage, if I got to +1, it was nearly game. As weird as that sounds, only because I just put on so much offensive pressure here. So we get the sub up, he gets them for the taunt. I'm like, okay, I can live another couple. I'm just gonna spam Judgment. There's no reason not to spam Judgment. So we go for Judgment, and we get like 20% off, I think, maybe 30% from memory. And I'm like, okay, that does a little bit. If he doesn't wish, I think he's going to Foul Play. And I'm like, okay. He knows he can potentially Toxic this turn if I stay in with the Arceus. Now, Arceus is my win con. And as the GOAT Aki YouTube says, fucking retarded draft players can't save a win con. So like, let's save this. Like, let's go Taunt here. I thought to myself, I'm not going to really have any real chance of beating this Umbreon. This could come down to time. And I was like, this is so depressing. I should have just went for the Toxic. So I was like, okay, let's just move here. You get one chance. And also as well, it becomes a 50-50 mind game with the Tornadus and the Umbreon about the Arceus and the Umbreon. But it is what it is. I'm like, alright, let's get this. Boom! Boomashakai! And it's dead. I was like, oh, this is very, very nice. Also, apologies is not livecom. I'll definitely try to make semis livecom, but until then, it probably won't be. So now he goes down into this Altaria looking thing. I'm like, okay, time to Icy Wind here. He's going to Dragon Dance, try to go for game. I'm going to Icy Wind, and then I'm going to Hurricane. Because as long as I outspeed him, I do not care. I still have... Okay, I just want to make this really, really clear. If I miss an Icy Wind, I still have ways out of this game. But also as well, Icy Wind is more accurate than Hurricane. So, it's 95%, and I'm like, okay, this is great. This thing's Dragon Dances, I'm like, this is even better for me. I'm like, also as well, if I kept it low enough, there's a potential that I was going to be able to outspeed and Iron Head it with a Bishop. So he switches out. So he goes into the Blue Lagoon, and I'm like, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with this. I'm just Hurricane. And I'm like, okay. I was like, another Hurricane's going to take out this stupid fucking Marini. So I was like, let's go for another Hurricane. I don't know why Matt does this play. I think Matt predicts me to U-turn for a preserve, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you fucking shit Marini get back up to help. And I was like, because the other thing as well is I was just putting everything in range for Arceus, and I thought to myself, well, to be honest, Toxapex is on Marini, the fucking gay Dark Devil Pokemon, is probably the last model like left that's going to stop my Arceus. So I kill it off, and I'm like, okay, realistically, he has to go into the ground. And now remember what I said before about how much damage this thing has taken from the Curse and the Infestation Trap. It took 37.5%. Now on top of that, the Groudon now has taken nearly 50%. And I'm like, if I Icy Wind here, Mega Ampharos can win. I missed. I'm like, oh shit. He's fast asleep. I think from memory, Matt does get another Fire Punch. And I was like, ooh, or does he bulk up? He actually gets bulk up here, and I was like, okay. It's like, if this is gonna be a bulk up set, I'm pretty sure my Arceus now wins, and it's gonna be a fun game. Arceus is there, like Amity, he's in the thumbnail. Also, thank you to Graham Amity for being a fucking shredded good cunt and being my thumbnail for the week. Make sure to check out his Instagram down below, and don't let your girlfriend see it. You'll probably. So I also now know that with his Groudon, that he physically cannot beat, not just my Arceus, but also there's no reason to sub. There's no raw. There's no fire punch. There's only fire punch, and fire punch is a bit weaker than P-blades. I think it's maybe like 10 base points. And I was like, okay, let's exchange. I was like, let's get this going, Matt. You're Iron Defense, not SD. If this was SD, I'd be scared shitless. But in saying that, I'm like, alright, now we're just going to Judgment. There's no point not going for Judgment here. And I'm like, bang. That does, 40%. I was like, if he rests, it's time to Calm Mind. And time to then put him into 50%. Now, I think after I go for the Calm Mind here, it's the next turn that Matt will forfeit, from memory. And it's important to note that I had a bit of a go at Matt, calling me a pussy for forfeiting, but there's no hostility between me and Matt. Me and Matt love each other. Not as much as Matt loves anime or Julia, hopefully, because that's a bit 1993 Tasmania. It's not the good old days. So he sleep talks here. I think he whiffs finally, and I'm like, yep. Like, he really needed a crit here. It would have been unfortunate because, as I said, this game is really becoming down close to the win and inside. And so we do get the Judgment here. And, we're doing 50%. And I think this is the moment in the game when Matt decides that he doesn't want to play anymore. I cannot blame him for that. Yeah, so essentially, like, let's go through the scenario what would have happened. I would have Judgment went through his entire team. Marini was at like 20% from memory. And then also it would come back in, maybe it recovers 33, takes 12.5 from rocks. I'm pretty sure it takes 12.5. So it would come out about maybe 40%, 40 hit points, 40%. And then I think from memory, let me just go back to this first bit. Aaron, can you just make sure that this looks a bit smoother? Yeah. He had an Altaria as well at about 40%, comes in about 15%. So the game is pretty essentially over. So massive thank you to Matt O'Shea. Check out the clickbait kin, and just remember, Aaron, I want you to put just before the ground. It was at this moment Matt realized he didn't have a normal resist as he forfeits. And until next time, actually, we didn't do a question of the day. Question of the day. What is the best way to clickbait? And don't say Graham's abs, because that's my way to clickbait. Yeah. Until next time, peace.